Alkanaz's perspective. "She is insufferable," decries the agitated Terran, his face glowing brightly with the heat of his anger. "I can see her behavior has upset you," I observe. "Upset? Don't bloody cover it," he proclaims. "She ain't been on board for 2 weeks and she's already pissed off just about everyone in Triple M, plus Ultra and Elysium. Most of the rest of the crew too, I'd wager. I was humping some crates the other day, and after I was done strapping them down, she came and took photos of the fucking straps. I asked her what she was doing and she sneers that she was documenting the frayed fastenings. Frayed!" He holds out his hand in a gesture of, "Can you believe it?" "They weren't frayed, I take it?" I ask. "No, they were bloody not. They had some superficial scuffs on them, but they were absolutely not frayed. If you want pristine straps, then what you're asking is for brand new straps for every time you strap something down," he says, waving his hand to emphasize the ridiculousness. "So how did you respond?" I say curiously. I calmly told her that the crates are self-securing and ain't required to be strapped down. I only do it as a belt and braces measure. You want to know what she said? "Tell me," I invite, calmly. "She said they might not be required to be strapped down, but if they are, regulations require unfrayed straps. The straps weren't fucking frayed." I don't ask the man to calm himself, since nothing is less calming than to be told to calm down when you're experiencing what you view as righteous anger. Instead, I ask, "Did you say that to her?" He gives an exhausted exhale. "Not in so many words. I said, I don't believe the structural integrity of the straps has been compromised, ma'am." "It sounds like you handle that very maturely." I smile. "Yeah. D'Qual and Emiko spoke to us about her the day after we pushed off from Raquel. Warned us that she's a flaming bigot and that she's going to be looking for stuff to take umbrage with. They told us not to lose our tempers with her, even if she provokes us. If we shout at her, if we act aggressively, it's going to look bad. I almost think she'd want one of us to hurt her, just to fucking prove her right about us. D'Qual's theory is that she's going to change her mind about us once she gets to know us. I don't see it happening, personally." "Yes, I imagine it would be difficult to change your negative opinion of a group with whom you've approached every interaction with needless antagonism." He nods, then says, "Oh, yeah. She and her husband came and watched us training with Shivu the other day, and they were making snide remarks the whole time. Or, she was. The guy was just doing that simpering little giggle of his at all of them. Shivu didn't acknowledge them, and so neither did we. Until..." His bright face twists. I prompt, "Until?" "It was time for meditation. She kept making her little comments. Now, Shifu's the most easygoing kind of guy you'd ever want to meet. Not at all the kind of brutal hard-ass you picture if someone told you to imagine the deadliest man in the universe. I guess he's been so far above everyone else for so long that he's sort of come to look at the world as like a... joke's not quite right. Not plaything either. An entertainment, perhaps." "Yeah, that's more like it. You know? Like, he's just happy to be wherever he is. Like, he just finds everything so delightful. There's one exception. One thing I've seen piss that man off." "People disturbing or otherwise not respecting the act of meditation," I suggest. The Terran places a forefinger on his nose and points to me. Bingo. He gets up, walks over to him, and tells them they've either got to leave or keep quiet. Like, he weren't shouting or nothing, but you could tell he was about done with their shit. You want to know her response? "Please," I smile. "She made fun of him for being short." He purses his lips and gestures his irritation with a jab of his flattened palm. "Short? Like, he ain't the most dangerous man alive. Like, he wouldn't be able to kill everyone aboard with his bare hands if the mood struck him. Like, he ain't the founder of an entire temple school and in the Shaolin lineage of what's gotta be thousands of people. No! He's just a short man. Like, she ain't 135 centimeters odd herself. Did Yuan seem bothered by this? Nah. Like water off a duck's back to him. He just repeated that she needed to go without the option of staying quietly this time. But, like, that sorta ain't the point. Like, of course he didn't get to where he is rising to petty insults by pettier people. Like that. But I was livid on his behalf. Seeing her disrespect him like that made me want to fucking strangle her. He realizes what he said a moment after saying it and clarifies, "That was not a statement of intent. I am not going to strangle her. I was just very angry is all I mean." I giggle. Don't worry, Victor. You're still a long way off from the point where I would actually judge you to be a danger to this woman. I can distinguish a Terran who is upset from a Terran who is dangerous. You're reacting less angrily to this woman than my husband did. His face falls, and I instantly realize I've made a mistake. What'd she say to him? He asks, his tone low and level, but calculating and penetrating. Oh, nothing important. I lie, unconvincingly. I don't know your husband, Alcunad, but from what I hear from my friends whose therapist he is, he don't strike me as a man who'd get angry over nothing important. He nearly growls, his unblinking eyes fixed on me. I sigh. She demeaned our marriage and used the word miscegenator to describe me. The man takes a deep inhale, audibly shuddering with rage. When he exhales, his breath is so hot that it remains visible for a second or so after passing his lips. Before he can say anything, I hurry to reassure him that it's fine, Victor, like water off a duck's back. The opinions of small-minded people don't bother me. That woman, he says, still clearly furious, is not redeemable. I don't give a shit what Cap says. She's not going to sit down for tea and biscuits and suddenly be cured of her bigotry. And I think it'll be a waste of our time trying to help her. She's a hidebound, dyed-in-the-wool zealot, and insisting on her coming on this mission has lost me what little respect I have for Tequil's clan mother. Either Warrakot is so stupid that she's managed to stay ignorant of Warquark's hatefulness, or she knows and doesn't fucking care. I give a mirthless smile and respond, I can tell you're angry, Victor. You know how? Context, tone, facial expression? He provides, face still a mask of cold fury. Nope. It's because you're pronouncing the phoneme at the end of your progressive verbs as ing, going, trying, fucking. He keeps looking at me for half a second, before bursting into laughter. I inwardly sigh in relief at having somewhat diffused the anger I carelessly engendered in my client. I've really got to get better at keeping my personal stuff to myself. Victor, I smile. When you are confronted with a person who has, seemingly without cause, decided to make life needlessly difficult for you, friction is to be expected. But I just want to ask, when you get angry at this woman, who do you think is hurt more by that anger? Her or you? He thinks a moment, then answers. Me, I think. Don't reckon she's hurt at all. Almost the opposite. It's like she enjoys whatever rise she gets. And are you okay with that? With allowing her to gain enjoyment from your pain? No, he answers, simply and immediately. So, what do you think is the healthiest course of action to take when facing provocation from her? He sighs. Healthiest thing to do would probably be to just let it go. Disengage. Shivu says anger is like a hot coal you grasp, with the intention of throwing it at someone. You are the one who gets burned. But, it's easier said than done, releasing this hot coal, I smile. Exactly. There's one thing to, with cold blood, be able to objectively say, rising to the bait probably ain't healthy, and a whole other thing to keep your blood from boiling when she starts intentionally pushing your buttons and getting under your skin. I can imagine. Emotions are not something that can be easily subjugated to logic. We are, all of us, dual beings, unemotional and irrational. Both have their place. You can't rationally appreciate the taste of good food, the enjoyment of a good joke, the warmth of a loved one's embrace. But sometimes, our emotions intrude into places where they are not helpful to us. This is an unavoidable part of life. As far as nerve-jacking technology has come, no one has ever succeeded in creating a device that would allow people to simply turn off their emotions and become entirely rational beings, to my knowledge. I don't know if I'd want to use a thing like that, even if it did exist, he answers contemplatively. I don't think I would either, I smile. I'll do my best to detach myself. It ain't gonna be easy, though. It won't, I'm sure. Let me just be clear, Victor. Feeling emotions does not make you a bad person. Getting angry does not make you a bad person. If it did, there would be no good people. I would personally suggest emotional management rather than suppression. It should be much healthier. He smiles at me and then checks his holopad. All right, Allie. It's been a good session. You don't need to leave right away if you're not done talking, Victor, I say, conveying with my tone that I'm fine whether he stays or goes. Appreciate it, but I've got to go get into my uniform and check my gear. We're degaussing at an out-of-the-way death ward system in a bit, and I like to be ready for action in times like this, just in case we get any nasty surprises. We don't usually, but it don't hurt to be prepared, he answers. All right, Victor. I'll let you go. Here's hoping for no nasty surprises. I grin.